I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter, and I'm going to talk right now about what does it take to be a top performing salesperson. There are 5 core principles that it takes, you have to master to become a top performer. And in a series of 5 videos, I'm going to walk you through each one of them. I'm going to lay out the 5 very quickly right now. Time, your mind, your network, your accountability, and your process. Each one of those 5 absolutely critical. You have to master to become a top performing salesperson. The reason I'm sharing this with you in this 5-part video series is because I want to make you aware of the masterclass in the Sales Hunter University about the roadmap to become a top performer. The masterclass is there for you, and I want you to take advantage of it. I want you, because I want you to be a top performer. Let's dive into the first one. Now remember the 5? Time, mind, network, accountability, and process. First one is time. You see, top performers master their time. You see, there's 2 ways to look at the day. You can either control the day or the day can control you. And let me tell you something, the top performers, they control their day. How do they do this? They do this by being relentless with how they use their time. They are ruthless in terms of scheduling. And one of the things that top performers do is they schedule meetings with themselves. What do you mean by meetings with yourselves? What I mean by this is that they have meetings with themselves to be able to make sure that they're ready to prospect, to make sure that they're ready to get these customer proposals done, to get this information done. They block time on their calendar. This is one of the single biggest differences between the average performer and the top performer. Because the average performer, what they do is they look at their calendar. Wow, I only got 3, 4, 5 things to do. This is kind of a light day. The top performer would say, hey, I only got 3, 4, 5 things scheduled. What am I going to do to fill the day to make sure it's a productive day? You see, that's the difference between being busy and productive. Both of those salespeople, the average and the top performer, will end the day saying, wow, I did a lot of stuff. But for the average performer, they were just busy checking this, checking that, checking this, checking that. For the top performer, they were actually making things happen. You see, there's a simple principle that top performers do with the scheduling of time. They ask themselves these 2 questions. Is this activity I'm putting on my calendar going to help me make money or help me achieve my goals? And if it doesn't help them achieve that, either of those, they're asking themselves, why are they doing it? You see, time is absolutely critical because it slips away. It's gone. It's gone after 24 hours. It's gone after an hour. And the top performing person knows they can't do it. Second thing that they do is they schedule the most difficult task in the morning. You see, here's something very simple. Top performers set the day with a very absolute critical routine, and they never deviate from that routine. I have a very set routine that I go through for the first 90 minutes. From literally the moment I first get up, the first 90 minutes is an absolute set routine. And I don't waver from that. Why? Because it creates momentum, it creates motion. And here's something very interesting about top performers. They're very routine oriented because they can do things repeated, repeated, repeated. And it doesn't take any mental mindset whatsoever. They just do it. They just do it. And what does that do? It absolutely makes them more productive. So that top performer, they have a routine that they do that first hour, 2, 3 hours of the day. 2, they schedule the most difficult tasks in the morning. Why? Because they know by doing that most critical task, maybe the thing that's going to make them the most money, do that first. Because that way if the day falls apart, they've still had a productive day. You see, what they do is they never allow the day to slip away from them. Because they know that things are going to happen. They know that curveballs are going to be thrown at them and there's going to be things that they didn't expect to happen. But they're prepared for it because they've blocked time for those most important things first thing out of the day. The other thing that they do is they always end the day prepared for tomorrow. You see, tomorrow begins today. You've heard me say this a lot. Tomorrow begins today. Absolutely fixated on that. Why? Because of a very simple reason. How do I know what tomorrow is going to be like unless I've planned for it? So I always plan. I, in my own life, am working 1 to 2 weeks out with a very precise calendar, and 1 day out with very, very exact as to what I'm going to do exactly when. What does this do? It makes me the most productive person I can possibly be. Hey, this is just one of the 5 principles, one of the 5 elements of being a top performing salesperson. Time, your mind, your network, accountability, and process. Check out the other 4 videos because I cover each one in there. And check out the masterclass on the Sales Hunter University. Would you do that? I'm Mark Hunter. Great selling.